Hello, beautiful souls. I am Valeria Maritza at Healing Through You. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. Today, the guides want me to bring you a message of encouragement, happiness, joy, keep going, all of those things. They are applauding you, they're behind you, they are so incredibly proud of everything that you have done thus far, everything that you continue to do, holding on to that dream of yours and walking and working towards it. This is the message that's coming through so strongly. For those of you who are newer to your enlightenment, your awakening, your awareness, know that things actually do get easier as you get deeper and deeper into your own work. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples here that some of you might be already experiencing, and some of you, if you are very new to this, you may not know. And it's really quite discouraging. That's my dog over there shaking. That is really quite discouraging sometimes if we feel that we're not moving fast enough or not seeing bigger results or big enough results, or we're not meeting our goals as we have created for ourselves as a constriction. um, and there's no one there for us to support us and validate us in what we have done thus far. So this is what's coming through as you move through your own journey. All ugly stuff comes up. This is what doing the work means. So for those of you who are not sure, what does doing the work mean? This is what it means. It means that you go back in your memory, or perhaps it's in a dream, it comes up in a dream, or maybe it comes in meditation. It's like all of a sudden it's like there's a flash of something that you remember that you had not remembered for months or even years. And you see it, you feel it, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, and it wasn't good. And you bring it up. You bring it up through your solar plexus, which is right underneath your heart chakra or right underneath your breastbone. And you bring it up, you feel it, and you can talk about it in order for it to be released and out of your body. And that's how we heal. So, talking about it, you can talk about it with a trusted friend. You can talk about it with the actual person who created the experience. You can talk about it in journaling. So, that would be writing down in a notebook as if the book is listening to you, because it is, and you get it out of your body, right? So by speaking it, by writing it, by acknowledging it, it comes out. It's no longer buried within your memories, it's no longer buried within your body, and you are able to release it. And when we first start doing this work, it's hard, right? It's difficult. We're like shocked at whatever is coming through. We begin to put things together. Oh, this is why I've been feeling this way now that I'm an adult. This happened to me when I was 5 years old. I'll give you an example. When I was, I don't know, I think I was five. I went to school. I believe I skipped kindergarten. I don't know for sure because both my parents are deceased now. But I'm pretty sure that I skipped kindergarten because I remember going to school and hating it and being dropped at this at the door, the outside door. It was this gate by the street. It was this big wooden red gate. I remember it as if it was yesterday. My father dropping me off, a teacher grabbing me by the hand and walking me up. It was a long, skinny driveway, guys, leading all the way up to this huge home that seriously, it looked like a haunted home. It was the most traumatic thing that I can remember that happened for me as I was a child. And I'm crying and screaming for my dad not to leave me there. And of course, he leaves me. So that brought up a huge wound of abandonment and being scared and being forced to do something I didn't want to do, right? Going to school in this case. I literally cried for about 30 days straight. So the first 30 days of school, that's all I did. I did not learn anything other than how to deal with my own emotions and how to be quiet, and how people were perceiving me, or the friends in my classroom, how they were like having some type of empathy, like, why are you crying, right? Obviously everybody else had been to school before except for me. I also did not come in at the beginning of the school year, so I was like the only one coming in when everybody else was already established and made friends, and I just came in the middle. I have no idea why this happened, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. And this personal wound that happened for me, has been something that has been repeated throughout my adult life and that I keep on working on and clearing. And I'm saying I keep on working on clearing. It's not like, oh, you clear it and it didn't work. No, it's not that. It's that it has layers. It has different layers of depth, different layers of hurt, different layers of whatever it is that I'm feeling or I was feeling back then that go deeper and deeper, that are harder and harder to swallow. And so when you do the work first, like for example, like the first work on releasing the fear of abandonment by my father leaving me there and not being liked because I was crying all the time, right? And then as I kept doing the work on the same situation, then it comes down to my fears, my detachment from the divine, my feeling that I wasn't good enough, and all kinds of things that were never in my awareness at the beginning of me doing the work. So it's not like we have to keep on doing the work because it doesn't work or because it's not, you haven't done it enough or you haven't done it properly. Is that as we clear, we get deeper and deeper and closer to the real root of what the wound was. So that is just a clarification. Now, it took me a really long time to clear this particular wound once I became aware of it. I was not aware that it was an actual wound for me at the beginning. I was like, oh, that happened. And I didn't even think that it was a traumatic thing for a child for me at that age. But once I was able to become aware of it, then I started being able to work on it. Now, after years of me doing personal work and helping others do the work as well, when something comes up, what happens? I'm able to pinpoint it right away. And right away means like something happened and all of a sudden a memory pops up in my mind that connects it to the original wound in my young adult life. And I'm able to put it together and say, oh, this is attached to this or is coming from that. I would benefit from working on that wound to clear it. And I do. And it clears. And it's so much faster. So as when I first started, when something would take me months to clear and move through and even realize what it was, now it drops really quickly. Sometimes it might take a couple of days, but a couple of days is nothing compared to a couple of months, guys, right? You know what I'm talking about. And then I'm able to move it through my system to the point that when I move it out, I feel released and I feel free from it. And I also don't feel triggered when I think about it or talk about it or bring myself back in that memory because I've already changed it and transmuted it. Why am I telling you this? Because when we are doing the work, it becomes really difficult to keep on doing the work when we don't know that this is part of the journey. When we aren't aware that, oh, it's going to keep on coming up, it's going to be deeper, it's going to be something else every time. It's the never-ending story because we are here on a journey. We're not here on a destination. So you're always moving forward, you're always growing, you're always clearing. But it starts to become faster and more potent each time that you clear something, each time that you do the work on yourself. And so when you first start on your journey, or maybe even if you're in the middle of it and you're still needing this reminder to allow you to keep on going, right? And we don't have someone to validate us or to tell us, hey, it's okay. Hey, you're doing the right thing. This is it. This is your message that you are. This is your message that you keep going and that is going to keep on getting better and easier for you to do the work. The more that you do the work, the more that you go deeper into your wounds and you clear them and you talk about them, the more connection or connectedness, is that even a word, that you have with your higher self or with the divine, with God, whomever it is that you work with, the easier it is for you to receive those divine messages that are guiding you in the right direction. And also the easier it is for you to take action on the things that you want to do. So today's message is so incredibly strong on this. You're doing the right thing. You are on the right path. We're applauding you. You're amazing. Keep going. You're not alone. Seek support if you feel that you need it. And just speak out. You can speak out to yourself in a room by yourself, and you can write it down if there's no one there to listen to you. But speak it out, whatever's coming through, so that you are able to move it out of your body and into the universe for it to be transmuted into love. All right. That is the strong message. Now, there's something else that's coming through, and I got distracted here by looking at my dog. But there's something else that's coming through on doing the work and why. Okay, here it is. And why the guys want me to talk about this today. The March energy was an incredibly strong, amazing force of nature that brought up, it turned over the soil, so to speak, right? It's spring, if you're a gardener or if you've ever done anything with a garden, in the spring you want to turn over the land to allow the air to come out, to make it loose so it's not so heavy or tight, and then you're able to plant your seeds or whatever it is that you're doing, right? And so this is exactly what March was. March was this incredible force of manifestation, of bringing in new energy for you. But in order to do that, it also revved up all of these deep things that we had been carrying and that were really buried really deep within our bodies to come up so that we can clear them. And now April, we're here at the beginning of April now. April has such an amazing energy of manifestation. And for those of you who are working on manifesting something that you have been working on manifesting it for like a really long time and it's still not here, I know there's a lot of us with this particular challenge. Yes, that's the great word. If this is not showing up, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's not that it's not available for you. It's not that you can't do it or that you're wrong. It's that you are putting the energy on the void of it, on the lack of it, more than on the dream, right? So I believe I talked about this. I don't know when I talked about this. I think it was in my newsletter that is coming out tomorrow, about keeping the dream alive, focusing on the feeling of what it feels like to already have whatever it is that you are manifesting. And that is it. You detach yourself from the outcome and you detach yourself from the how. You keep doing things, but you do them because you're being led to it and you're feeling this energy behind you that gives you the force and the excitement to do them. As an example, many years ago, before I even started to intentionally go down the rabbit path and do this work, I received a message about a children's book. And not only did I receive the stories, but I also received like a list of like 11 titles, because this children's book is supposed to be a series. And I am telling you, I received this at least 10 years ago. I know, because I know I was single at the time. I hadn't even met my husband. My husband and I have been together for 11 years. So I know it's been more than that. I received this. I wrote down the titles. I have no idea where I wrote them. I probably lost the paper or the notebook where I wrote this list of titles. But it just happened that this past week, because it keeps coming up, right? The idea and the thought and this is something you need to do, or this is something that we're giving you, came back. And it came back because they're asking me to do it, right? If you have something, an idea or a thought or something, a wish that keeps coming up for you when you're not really thinking about it, it's because it's meant for you to do. They want you to do it. Your soul wants you to do it. So anyway, it came back this week, and I haven't been putting myself in the place of like, well, what do I do? What's the next step? I'm not sure. I had an actual cancellation. I had a session, I think it was Thursday, and the person canceled me, and they're like, oh, we'll reschedule. Hasn't been rescheduled yet, but that's not the point. I had a free night, which doesn't happen often because I'm usually booked on every night of the week. There's only 5 nights a week, and there's only one of me. So I'm usually busy every night. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And I'm going to tell you what used to happen to me. So when I first started on my business, I know I'm sharing a lot of personal things, but they are guiding me to share this because this way you can relate to another human, right? You can relate to me, my experience, and see yourself in like, oh yeah, that happens to me, or that has happened to me, or I can see how that works because you've experienced it, right? And you're hearing it from another human. So that I'm talking from like the human me right now. Okay, so when I first started, if somebody would cancel on me last minute, like this was, it was just like a couple of hours before it was supposed to happen, I would go into this kind of like depression of, oh, what's wrong with me? Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, um, I was planning on this and now I don't have anything. Right. And do you hear my voice? Because like this is how I felt, right? I would start going down this spiral of self-pity. And then many times I would just either go to bed or watch a silly movie just to get my energy up. When I say silly movie, it's kind of like my husband calls them a rom-com, a romantic comedy, because it just you don't think about anything and there's like nothing um harsh in those movies like killings or murders or mysteries or anything like that, and it's just something that you pretty much can predict the ending, and you're just sitting there being entertained by some type of inspiring or lovely story, right? So yeah, they don't have much substance behind it, they're pretty much all the same, but that's my go-to when I feel down, is to watch something where my mind can just like be there. And I used to waste a lot of time, and sometimes I would be like, oh, I could, and then I would have a list of things that would start popping up, like you could do this, you could do this, you could do that. But the feeling of like, oh, my session was canceled, would bring me down the spiral of I just don't feel like doing anything, right? How many of you have felt this, that I just don't feel like doing anything now that this happened to me, right? And I'm purposely saying to me because when we go down that spiral, that down spiral, we are completely disconnecting ourselves from source, from our divine part of ourselves, and we believe that there's something wrong with us or something lacking in us, and why even bother? And I just need to rest, and I need to do something that will like lift my energy or whatever it is, and I just don't want to do anything productive right now. I just want to sit here, lay here, or do nothing. Some of us might go into like eating, like right, overeating something, some type of sugary thing. I've been there as well. To do that, or just like do nothing, right? Nothing productive really for what your dreams are. Meditating, forget it. I don't feel like sitting down and meditating now because I'm in a down spiral and I don't want to bring that down. All right, so you get the point, right? Now that I have done the work so often, um, I'm able to change things, move it, and take action in the right direction. And the right direction is something that brings me joy without feeling pity for myself. Okay, so watching a rom com and laying on the bed or going to sleep and just like doing nothing and watching this movie um, is is a way of feeling sorry for myself, and therefore I'm just using my time by watching some nonsense that I don't have to think about it. But taking action on something that actually lifts you up, right? Like let's say you love dancing and you start dancing and you're feeling, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I hadn't had time to dance in forever because blah 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 blah, right? Or I want to paint, or I want to garden, or whatever it is, right? That lights you up. Maybe it's baking, right, for your family. I don't know. So this past Thursday, I was like, I have time, I have no idea what to do. And all of a sudden it dropped. And I started looking into this children's book that I've been wanting to do. And I had this thought. I'm like, let me look into this. How do I self-publish? Maybe I can do this by myself. Maybe it's not so hard. Let me just look. I did a quick search, got tons of answers of like how to do it. I clicked on one thing led to the other. I signed up. Yep, I signed up. So now I'm in, like, I paid for this, right? I paid for this. And you know what? I had the freedom to pay for it and decide on it because I am making money through my business. So I have that freedom of having this money to invest in something that I want to do. Whereas before, I would have been like, oh, yeah, that would be great. But it costs money and I don't have it. Or, but it costs money and I do have it, but I'm feeling scarcity around it. And therefore, I don't want to invest it in myself. Right? You've been there. I've been there many times as well. I am no longer there because now I know and I trust the universe that when I invest on something that is for me, that is lighting me up, that is lighting me on fire, that the universe will bring that back to me, the amount of money that I invested, tenfold. And it has happened every single time. Every single time, guys, seriously. We do not know why we are led to do certain things, but when we trust and we act, even though it's scary, the universe shows us later on how this is and why this is, right? And it's never what we think it is. I have to tell you, you just have to trust. Okay. So anyway, I took action. I signed up with this. So they gave me like, okay, you need to do this, and that. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, now I have to move it. Now I have to deliver. Now, so what do? I started drawing. I started reading and rewriting parts of my script. I started getting like really excited, really on fire. I have energy, the energy that feels like, oh, I have 5 minutes here. Let me do. a little bit of this. Whereas before it's like, ooh, I have 5 minutes. I can't do anything in 5 minutes. You see the difference, right? And so this is how, when you are going down the path that is aligned with you, that your guides are showing you, hey, this is the way for you to go. This would be a really good road for you to take if you choose it. And you do, you're going to feel this energy within you, this fire within you that doesn't let down. That when you feel like I have 5 minutes, you just immediately go there to do something towards that goal of yours, right? And it's a shift in your mind. There's nothing different. There's no difference in like in who you are, or your home situation, or who's around, or your financial situation. There's nothing that has changed except your mental point of view. The point of view of, I'm excited, I want to work on this, even if it's 5 minutes, let me see what I can get through. And you get it done, because 5 minutes of intentional work on something that is of your dreams, that is finally guided by your guides, really adds up to something. Whereas 5 minutes of, oh, I have to write that paper for school, which I have no passion on, I don't even know why I'm doing it, I don't even like the class, but I'm doing it for a grade. Yeah, those 5 minutes are going to do nothing, and they're going to deliver nothing, because there's no passion, there's no vision for you, there's nothing that is coming from within, and you're not divinely guided towards writing this paper for a teacher, or for a class, or for a course. I'm not saying that school is not good. Actually, I'm saying that. The way it is now, most of it needs to be reformed. But if there's something that you have no passion for, you beat yourself up because it's so hard and so heavy. Know that the reason that it's hard and heavy is because it's not aligned with you. One of my nieces was going to school for college, really was not doing well at all, because actually she was doing like no work at all. It's a better way of putting it. Nothing about it lit her on fire. She was so bored. It's like, why am I doing this? What is the purpose of this? And that's exactly what I'm telling you. Why are you doing something that doesn't light you up on fire? She wants to do something else. I said to her, hey, why are you torturing yourself doing this, feeling badly for yourself? Because you know what happens when you do no work and you go to school? You fail. Not only that, you constantly get the reminder that there's something wrong with you, or that you're not good enough, because you're not studying, you're not doing the work. And so any test that they give you, you're going to get a low grade or a failing grade, and it's going to remind you that you're not good enough, or that you can't do this, and all of that type of stuff that are self-negating, right? And that's not the truth at all. How many beautiful, amazing people do you know that are super smart, failed at school, but created their own business, and they're making like mega bucks, right? Who was it? Einstein? Einstein was kicked out of school. He was kicked out of school. The teacher wrote his mom a letter saying, your child is pretty much retarded. We did not use those words, but we cannot have him in this school. So please just take him home. She didn't tell him that. She told him, the school says that you're way too intelligent, too smart for them, and they cannot teach you because you just know too much. And so I'm going to have to help you and teach you at home. She never told him what the teacher said, and she did. And she told him that anything he wanted to do, he could do. That's Einstein, guys, right? He failed at regular school because he was so boring, right? How many of you have been feeling this way? So if something is feeling heavy, like I don't feel like doing it, and you only have 5 minutes to write this paper that you have no passion in, you're not going to get anything done. It's going to be one of those things where you read the same sentence 3 times and you've no idea what you read, right? You've been there before as well, right? But when it is something that has to do with your dream, when it's something that has to do with what you want to do, that is lighting you on fire, that keeps coming back over and over because your guys keep giving it to you and you keep ignoring it, and you finally take that step towards it, that's when things begin to move, and you find the time and the energy to work on it, because it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like work because it's something you want to do. It's something that's meant for you. It's something that's aligned with you. It's something that all of your guys are guiding you, helping you, and showing you the way so that you can succeed the way that you are meant to succeed. And so, wow, this message came out much longer than I expected, but yeah. And so the guys really want you to know you're in the right place. You're in the right place. 2 words into one. You're in the right place. You're doing the right thing. You're loved. You're fully supported. Keep the vision of the end result of what you want. Feel yourself be lit up in fire for excitement towards that thing you want to do. And then pay attention to the signs that your guides are always showing you. It could be anything. It could be like, oh, I'm thinking of doing blah, blah, blah. And then you look at the time and you get those repeating numbers 11111, 222, whatever it is, right? And then you're like, oh, okay, I just had that thought. Now I saw that repeating number. That means my guys are giving me the go ahead. They're giving me the confirmation. They're saying, yes, that's exactly what we want you to do. That's exactly the path that we are encouraging you to take. Okay, so you take that action and you feel yourself full of fire. You feel yourself full of excitement within you, and you begin to work towards that dream that you have. And guess what? Before you know it, it's achieved. I love you so much. I really hope that this message has filled your heart and filled your soul with desire. Please share this podcast with anybody, or even this episode, anyone that you think might really benefit from listening to this and hearing these messages. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share so that other people may get the messages. I love you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.